A quiet, upscale suburb. Tree-lined streets, million-dollar homes. A cop cruises slow, eyes sharp, scanning every inch. He's on edge, ready to protect this perfect little world. Then he spots him, a black man walking alone. No rush, just strolling. The cop's gut twists. Something's off, he thinks. This guy doesn't belong here. No questions, no hesitation. He's sure this man's trouble. He pulls over, steps out, moves in fast, detains him right there on the sidewalk. No evidence, just a hunch. The cuffs click, the radio crackles, minutes tick by. Then the truth hits hard. That man he's got locked up, not some random threat, a decorated colonel in the U.S. Air Force, a hero. And this cop just stepped into a storm he never saw coming. Fade in, Silver Hollow. A ritzy suburb tucked in the rolling hills of western Pennsylvania. Maple trees line the streets, casting long shadows. Colonel Tavin Kellwood steps into frame. His boots hit the pavement soft, steady. Broad shoulders, lean frame. A man carved by decades in the military. He's rocking casual gear, but you can feel it. That quiet strength, that steel in his stride. He's no stranger here. Owns a sleek pad just a few blocks over, a hideout he snagged years back to dodge the chaos of Joint Base Andrews. This is his spot, his reset, his break from the grind. Today he's walking, just breathing in that crisp May air. Sun's dipping low, painting the sky gold. He moves easy, soaking in the calm. No clue a storm's about to crash in. Right now he's just a guy, a soul stealing a slice of peace, living for the moment, unaware the clock's ticking down. Cut to the streets of Silver Hollow. Officer Bryce Tanner rolls through, slow and steady. He tweaks the rearview mirror, eyes sharp, slicing through the quiet like a hawk hunting prey. The patrol car hums low, barely a whisper. This is his turf. A beat he's owned 100 times, protecting the manicured lawns, the big money homes. Bryce lives for this, trusts his gut like it's gospel. He's the wall keeping this fancy suburb safe, pristine, untouchable. It's quiet out there, too quiet. His fingers tap the wheel restless, chasing a beat lost in the engine's drone. He clocks the usual, tricycles dumped by garages, gardeners clipping bushes, a lone biker pedaling past. All clear, business as usual. Then he spots him, a black guy walking alone. Easy pace, navy jacket, khakis, tall, built, moving like he's got nowhere to be. Nothing loud, nothing wild, but Bryce's radar pings hard. This guy's a stranger, and in Silver Hollow, that's a red flag. Trouble's brewing, he can feel it. Bryce's voice drops low. Who's this guy? He wonders. What's he playing at? His eyes lock tight on the man's every move. 9 years on the force, and Bryce knows one thing. His gut doesn't lie. Right now it's screaming. Something's wrong. This is Silver Hollow, rich, mostly white. A stranger like this? Doesn't add up. Could be lost. Could be casing houses. Either way, Bryce isn't taking chances. The cruiser slows to a crawl. He's shadowing the guy now, matching every step. As he glides past, the man flicks a glance at the car. Cool as ice. No flinch, no sweat. Bryce's jaw clamps hard. That calm eats at him, like this guy thinks he belongs, like he's untouchable. Nope, not on Bryce's watch. Decision's made. He pulls to the curb, steps out. Belt shifts, radio crackles soft. The man keeps walking, not a care in the world. That fires Bryce up. He's done playing. Voice cuts through the air as he closes the gap fast. Bryce's voice booms out. Hey, you there! It's a command loud and raw. The man stops cold, turns slow, locks eyes with Bryce. Steady, unshaken. He speaks calm and clear. Yes, officer. Something wrong? Bryce doesn't bite back fast. He's studying him now. Up close. Face smooth, stance loose. like he's not fazed one bit. That stings Bryce deep, sets his nerves on edge. "What are you doing here?" Bryce's tone cuts like a blade. The man doesn't flinch. "Just taking a walk," he says, cool as ever. "Is that not allowed?" Bryce's brow twists. That steady voice grates on him, throws him off his game. He's the one in control here. Steps in tight, shoulders square. "I need some ID," he says, voice heavy, loaded with power. The man tilts a brow, stays planted. "Why?" he asks. "Am I in trouble?" Bryce's fuse shortens. "This is a private spot," he snaps. "We don't see your kind around here much. I can question whoever looks off." The man lets out a soft sigh. Bryce feels the heat rise. "I live close," the man says. "Few streets over. Not breaking any rules, officer. Just walking." Bryce ain't having it. "Show me some ID," he fires back. Hand slides to his belt. Radio hums low. Gear's right there. He's not here for chit-chat. Controls the name of his game. Always has been. The man moves slow. Real slow. Hand slips into his pocket. Pulls out a slim wallet. Every move deliberate, like he's got all the time in the world. He hands over the ID. Bryce snatches it fast. Eyes dart over the name, the address. A flicker hits him. It's local, right here in Silver Hollow. But that doesn't settle him. Not even close. Maybe it's the guy's cool as ice vibe. Maybe it's Bryce's gut still twisting, refusing to let go. "I've never seen you around," Bryce says, voice hard as steel. "How long you lived here?" 3 years, the man fires back, smooth and steady. "Usually tied up with work. Don't see why that's your business." Bryce feels the heat creep up his neck. He hates that pushback. Hates how this guy acts like he's above it all. His grip tightens on the ID. "Matters or not, I've got a job," Bryce snaps. "Reports of weird stuff going down around here. Gotta make sure it all checks out." The man doesn't blink, just stares. No fear, no backing down. That burns Bryce up. He's the one calling shots, not some random dude strolling in like he owns these streets. "Stay put," Bryce orders. "Don't even twitch." He spins back to the cruiser, boots hitting pavement. Pulse kicks up, anger mixing with a doubt he won't admit. He shoots a look over his shoulder. The guy's still there, standing tall, waiting. Bryce's stomach knots tighter. He shoves it down. He's the law in Silver Hollow. Keeping it safe is his gig. No room for second thoughts now. Tavin stands firm on the sidewalk. Eyes track Officer Tanner as he heads back to the cruiser. That stare from Tanner, it's heavy, pressing down even from yards away. The street's dead quiet. Just sparrows chirping, the patrol car's low growl cutting through. Tavon keeps his breath even, his cool locked tight. He's got nothing to hide. He knows he's clean. But Tanner's glares, those sharp questions, that ID grab, they're sparking his nerves like live wires. His mind rewinds the clash. Tanner's voice short and biting. The way he sized Tavon up, labeled him wrong from the jump. That hand lingering near the belt, like trouble's one move off. Tavon's seen it before. Too many times in the Air Force. That mix of suspicion and power, thrown at anyone who doesn't fit the mold. One wrong step, and it's a powder keg ready to blow. You gotta play it smart. He scans the scene. Eyes are on him now. Neighbors peeking from porches. A guy with hedge clippers freezes mid-snip, staring hard. A jogger stops cold, phone up, filming. Tavon catches her glance. She turns away fast. He pulls in a slow breath. This question mark a spectacle? Last thing he wanted. Tanner swings out of the cruiser, ID gripped tight in his fist. Face twisted, irritation boiling under the skin. He marches back to Devon, stops close, real close, trying to tower over him. "Your record's clean," he grumbles like it pains him to say it, "but that doesn't tell me why you're here." Tavon doesn't blink, stays cool as stone. "Already told you," he says. "I live here. Just walking. That's it." Tanner's eyes slit narrow. I've got reports, he fires back. Suspicious stuff going down. My job's to dig in. Tavon holds that stare. Steady. I get it, officer, he says. But I'm not trouble. Just a guy on a walk. Tanner's temper flares. Face goes red. Brow creases deep. He clocks the crowd growing. Eyes from every angle. He hates this. Being tested. Right out in the open. Tavon feels it. The air snapping tight around Tanner. Look, Tanner growls, voice low and mean. We can do this nice, or we can do it rough. Spill exactly what you're up to, or you're coming with me. Your call. Anger flickers in Taven. He buries it fast. Knows the game. Push till you snap. I've given you everything, he says, voice level. You're the one messing up here. Tanner's jaw locks tight. Only mistake here, he growls, is some guy thinking he can strut through my turf unchecked. You in, or do I turn this up? Tavon's patience frays. He's laid it out, reasoned, explained, but Tanner's deaf to it. This isn't about safety, it's power. Tanner's got him pegged as trouble, all from a glance. Tavon flicks his eyes to the crowd, then back. Officer, I'm not fighting you, he says, voice rock solid. But I know my rights. You've got nothing on me. I'm clean. Tanner's eyes flare. I call the shots on what's right, he snaps. No warning. He lunges, grabs Tavon's arm hard. You're with me now. Tavon's muscles coil. That grip digs in. Years of training scream to take Tanner down. One move and it's over. But he holds back, knows it'll spiral worse. Lets Tanner drag him to the cruiser. Cuffs snap on, cold and sharp. This really needed? Tavon asks, steady as ever. Tanner doesn't bite, shoves him at the back door. Get in, he snarls. Tavon slides inside, hands locked behind him. He scans the crowd outside, faces torn between shock and worry. That jogger's got her phone up, rolling tape. Tavon banks on that, keeping this mess from blowing wide open. Tanner slams the door hard. Frustration floods Tavon like a tide. He'd stepped out for a simple walk, a breather. Now he's cuffed in the back of a squad car, branded a thug, all because of his skin, the biases it sparks. Tanner's voice crackles over the radio, clipped intense, calling it in. Tavon leans back, pulls a deep breath. This ain't done. He's itching to push back, but he knows. Cool heads win here. This isn't just his fight, it's bigger. A battle he's been scrapping through his whole damn life. Sitting there, hands locked tight, he feels it again. Respect, fairness, they're still miles out of reach. The ride's quiet. Tension hangs heavy, thick as smoke. Tavon's in the back, cuffs biting his wrists, staring straight ahead. Tanner sneaks looks in the mirror. Tavon doesn't bite. Silver Hollow's maple streets fade fast. Allegheny County's bustle takes over. His mind's racing, not scared, just stunned. How a walk flipped this bad, this quick? Tanner rolls into the station lot. Squad cars gleam under the lights. He jerks the back door open, grabs Tavon's arm and pulls him out, rough and fast. The precinct's alive. Cops hustle in and out. Radios spit static. Papers shuffle. Tanner marches Tavon through the doors. Heads turn. Eyes spark with curiosity. Tanner doesn't flinch, just shoves Tavon down a hall, straight to the holding pen. Tavon feels it, those stares drilling in, whispers humming low. He's been watched before, but never like this. Not on the wrong side of the law he swore to defend. He's led men, flown missions, served his country proud. Now he's paraded through here like some street punk. Tanner kicks a door wide. Bare room stares back. Blank walls, a table, 2 chairs. Points Tavon in. Tavon drops into the seat. Tanner hovers by the door, arms folded tight. A smirk flickers in his eyes. You're staying put till we figure this mess out, he says, voice like a blade. Tavon locks eyes with Tanner. Dead on. Sort what out, officer, he says, voice cutting through. You've got my ID. You know my address. What's left to dig for? Tanner's face turns to stone. I need to know why you were in that neighborhood, he fires back. Why you thought you could stroll around like you run the place. Tavon lets out a sigh. Frustration simmers hot under his skin. I didn't break any rules, he says. I live there. This question mark, I didn't ask for it. Tanner's cheeks flare red. People like you don't just wander spots like that for no reason. He spits. Could have been eyeing houses, planning a score. Tavon's eyes sharpen. People like me? He throws back. What's that supposed to mean, officer? Tanner's jaw clamps shut. No answer. Silence drops heavy, thick as fog. Tension chokes the room. Tavon reads it. Tanner's rage, that itch to control. This ain't personal. It's bigger. To Tanner, Tavon's a crack in his perfect little world. The door swings open. Captain Nia Voss steps in. Wiry frame, gray hair cropped tight. Her face holds steady, calm mixed with a flicker of worry. She scans Tanner, then Tavon, taking in the mess. Tavon sizes her up fast, rock solid, fair, the anchor in this storm. What's happening here, she asks, voice smooth but firm. Tanner snaps straight. Caught him in Silver Hollow, he says. Acting shady. Wouldn't talk, so I hauled him in. Voss shifts her eyes to Tavon. Sharp, but even. That right? She says. Tavon gives a slight nod. Was just walking, he tells her. Tanner grilled me, showed him my ID, said I live close, didn't cut it for him. Voss turns back to Tanner. You check his ID? She asks. Yeah, he shoots back quick. Came up clean, but she cuts him off. But you dragged him in anyway, she says, tone like steel. What's your play here? Tanner stumbles, squirms under that stare. He was suspicious, he pushes. Just doing my job. Keeping things tight. Voss sighs, arms fold. This man's a colonel, she says, voice low, crystal clear. United States Air Force. You've got him cuffed, locked up, no reason. You catching the weight of this? Tanner blinks hard, off balance. Glances at Taven, then back. I didn't know, he stutters, voice cracking. Voss's eyes narrow. Doesn't matter who he is, she says, voice like a whip. Your gig is to protect and serve, not play judge off a glance. You're way out of bounds, Tanner. Uncuff him. Now Tanner's hands shake, fumbles the keys, steps up quick to unlock Taven's wrists. Taven flexes them free, shakes off the sting of cold metal. Stands tall, looms over Tanner. Cool as ever. Captain Voss, he says, steady and clear. Appreciate the save. But this isn't just my fight. It's how guys like him do the job. Voss gives a nod. I'm with you, she says. We're digging into this, Colonel Kelwood. This doesn't get swept under. Tavon locks eyes with Tanner. Guy's still rattled. Hope this shakes you awake, he says low. Judging by looks. That's a fast track to screwing up big. Voss points to the door. Let's move this to my office, she says. Time to break down what just hit the fan. Tavon steps out beside Voss. Other cops' eyes burn into him as they move. This ain't over, not by a long shot. But it's a spark. Conversation's gotta start. Things gotta shift. If this is the match to light it up, Tavon's all in. They hit Voss's office. Tavon takes a seat. She grabs a pen, starts scribbling the report. Tanner's outside pacing, face caught between shock and guilt. Tavon watches him through the glass. Mind's already racing ahead. This isn't just one cop's screw-up. It's the whole damn system letting it slide. Tavon's been in fights his whole career, battlefields to back roads. This one's no different. He's not backing down. Respect, equality. That war doesn't end at the airstrip. It's every block, every suburb, every face-off. Voss drops her pen, looks him square. I'm sorry this went down, she says. We'll handle it. Tavon nods slow. Ain't about apologies, Captain, he says. It's about making sure nobody else catches this heat. Voss locks in. We're on it, she says. Tanner's step one, then we rip into the real mess. Change ain't fast, but it starts right here.